What is up, YouTubers? It's Tahlequah and the voices in my head coming at you from the Duelist Den. And today we're going to be talking about the future of Duel Links and how the future of Duel Links could possibly affect the real world TCG. Now, this is all stemming from the release of a card in Duel Links called Ojama. Now, this is very, very important, as Ojama prior to its release in Duel Links was an anime-only card that was used by Chaz in the GX arc. Now, this card by itself is not really meta-defining. It's not really going to change the meta all that much in Duel Links. But the fact that Konami has released an anime-only card in the game could mean some major things going forward in Duel Links. Now, as we all know, the 5Ds era is going to be released in Duel Links here pretty soon. And with the release of an anime-only card, it makes one wonder, are they going to release anime-only cards for the 5Ds area once it's unlocked? Specifically, the Speed World and Speed World 2 field spells, along with the speed spells that go along with turbo dueling. Now, in my opinion, I feel like this is a very real possibility. Now, how they're going to implement turbo dueling into Duel Links is really undetermined. If they do it, it could be a separate PvP section for turbo duels only, or it could be something you can only do with the NPCs or non-player characters in the game. That's really yet to be determined, and I'm really not sure if that's going to happen, and if it does, how it will affect the game. So how could this possibly affect the real world trading card game? Well, it's rather simple. Not too long ago, Konami released that they were going to be bringing out speed duel decks that are designed to emulate the Duel Links game itself, even going so far as to have character skill cards that go along with said decks. So is it possible that if turbo dueling is released in Duel Links, then it could also get released here in the TCG? It is, in my opinion, a slim possibility, but something that could very well happen. And if it does, that raises a new question. How would turbo dueling work in real life? Now, obviously, we can't all ride around on motorcycle-like devices called duel runners and play Yu-Gi-Oh! That would be completely dangerous and highly impractical. But we don't really need duel runners to have a turbo duel. If you look at the effects of the Speed World field spells, it's really not necessary. Speed World, the original one, simply states that you can only use speed spells during the duel that this card is activated. And during each player's standby phase, they each get their own speed counter on this card, and you can only have a maximum of 12. And if you take damage, for every 1,000 points of damage you take, you have to remove a speed counter from this spell. Speed World 2 has a very similar effect. It's not worded the exact same way, but it essentially does the same thing. It just has a few extra effects depending on the number of speed counters that you remove from the card. So it is completely viable to have turbo duels in the real life TCG. And if they do come to the real life TCG, how is that going to affect tournaments? Well, Konami could do something like what they're going to be doing with speed dueling, where they have a different format. Konami has clearly stated that they are going to be hosting speed dueling events, and there are going to be locations that you can go to participate in speed dueling events. It is possible that speed dueling could also be something that Konami uses at side events for major events such as regionals and YCSs. And if turbo dueling is released, it could be another sort of side deck event at events such as these. So I want to know what you guys think. Could turbo dueling make an appearance in Duel Links? And if it does, could it also possibly bleed over to the real life TCG? And if it does appear in Duel Links or the real life TCG, would you actually participate in turbo dueling events? I want to know your guys' thoughts on anything you can think of regarding this matter down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, this is Tahlequah and the voices in my head. Just want to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not just a game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is life.